With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
Hello students, let us look at the question here. So the question says that the atomic volume of the transition elements are low compared with elements in neighboring group 1 and 2 because we have been given here 4 options and we need to choose the correct one. So in this question, we have to find out the reason that why atomic volume of D block elements, that are transition elements, are low if we have to compare them with group 1 and 2, which means we have to compare them with S block elements. Now, the reason is that the nuclear charge here for D block elements is poorly screened or poorly shielded, right? And so all the electrons are then attracted, are more strongly attracted, right? So let me just write it down. So the nuclear charge, okay, is poorly screened, okay, or poorly shielded, right? And due to this reason, what happens? The electrons, all the electrons from valence shell, okay, are attracted more strongly. Okay. Now, what exactly is poor shielding? What exactly is shielding effect that we have, written here, that we have learned here? So, shielding effect is nothing but, it is a phenomena of reduction of nuclear force of attraction. Okay, due to the inner shell electrons towards valence electrons, which means that, let me just draw a diagram for that. So let us imagine that this is what do we have? This is the nucleus that we have, and nucleus, this is the valence shell that we have, right? Now what happens, that this nucleus is attracting these electrons towards itself, right? There is a force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron. Now in the case of D block elements, the inner so this is just imagine that this is the S shell that we have, and this is the D subshell. Okay, so this is S subshell and this is D subshell. Okay, now in D block elements, D subshell fills first. Okay, so this is electrons are keeps if you just go across the period from left to right, number of electrons keeps on increasing because D subshell is adding more and more electrons. Now what will happen, right? So due to the inner shell electrons, okay, due to the inner shell electrons, there will be a shield, right, which will be created between a nucleus and these electrons. Okay, and due to this shield, the force of attraction between nucleus and the valence electron will decrease. Okay, so this is something that happens, right? And due to this reason, the size gets larger. Okay, so this is the shielding effect. The inner shell electrons, these electrons, inner shell electrons, protect the valence electrons. They are protecting the valence electrons, right, from the nuclear force, right? This means that they are shielding them. Okay, so this is the entire shielding effect. Now what happens here, right, that we have a D subshell and we have F subshell, right? So both of the subshells create or have poor shielding effect, right? Now what will happen if the shielding effect is poor? So if the shielding effect is poor, then the force of attraction here will not get any weaker, right? And between nucleus and the valence electron, and due to this, the size of the entire atom will get smaller, right? So if the size is getting smaller, then we can say eventually that the volume is getting smaller, right? So this is the entire reason that we have written here. This is the entire explanation, that the nuclear charge is poorly shielded or poorly screened, right, from all the electrons from valence shell are attracted more strongly, right? So due to this reason, the electrons from the valence shell are attracted more strongly, and hence the size is getting smaller. if you have to compare it with group 1 and group 2 elements, right? So this is the reason. Also, if we have to say, then we also know that if we just go from left to right across a period, right? So we know that Z effective increases. Okay, why? Because number of protons are, are adding up, because atomic number is increasing, right? So if atomic number is increasing, Z effective is increasing, right? So here the nuclear is getting stronger and stronger if you just go across, left to right, and this is the reason. And also D subshell is not creating any, good shielding effect. So the force of attraction is getting, more stronger and stronger. So the size will eventually reduce. Okay. So the next thing, there are two options. So this first option, which says that the number of charges is poorly screened and so attract all the electrons more strongly, is correct one. Now the next one says that the extra number of electrons are added to inner orbitals. Now, to understand this one, we'll have to write down the general electronic configuration of transition elements, right? So let me just write it down. So it is n-1 d 0 to, not 0, from 1 to, so from 1 to 10, right? And we have ns 1, 2. Now what happens in the case of D block elements? This D subshell fills after S subshell, right? So this is n-1, right? So this is the last shell and this is the inner shell. So inner shell is, getting filled up if we just move across the period. And due to this reason also, what happens that, the charge, the nuclear charge attracts all the electrons. The Z effective is increasing. It is attracting all the electrons towards itself. And due to this reason, the size is decreasing, right? The size is decreasing, and eventually we can say that the volume is also getting decreased, right? If we have to compare it with group 1 and group 2, where there is a better shielding effect, where there is, there is no more, where there is no better Z effective, which we can see here, right? So all these are the reasons why we have, we can say atomic volume is low, why we have low atomic volume if we have to compare transition elements from group 1 and group 2, right? So this is also correct. So these two statements are correct. So I can say that the correct option for this particular question will be C, where we have both A and B are correct. Okay, and the last one is incorrect. So this is how we can try and solve this question. I hope you all also understand. Thank you.
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.